Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will learn 9 powers, page number 274. Page number 274. Balak means the power. If you have power in your body, you can resist the diseases. Just like that, if we have power, we can protect from opposite actions. Here the power means, if you have power, the opposite mental and material phenomena cannot shake you, cannot be shaken. And they strengthen their actions. For that reason it's called Balak, power. So we have 9 power. So we are talking about, we are learning Compendium of mixed category. So here 9 powers will be mixed with the wholesome and unwholesome. And number 1 is good one according to Abhidhamma. Faith or confidence has the power to protect from the doubt. If you have faith, so there's no place for the doubt, which creature. So for that reason, faith has the power to protect from opposite actions, especially the doubt. For that reason, it is called Balak, or the power. Energy, Vidya has the power to protect from sloth and torpor. If you have energy, sloth and torpor cannot take place. Sloth and torpor cannot come in. When you are meditating, if you are full of energy, there's no sloth and torpor. When you are reading, if there is energy or Vidya, so there is no laziness and sloth and torpor. For that reason, energy has the special power to protect from negative mental state, sloth and torpor. Page number 274. The next one is mindfulness. Mindfulness also called Bala or power. The reason is it has the power to protect from restlessness. So if you are mindful, there is no restlessness, otecha. So these are called a good power, a good Bala. Next one is concentration or samadhi. But according to Amman 52 Chitasika, it is one-pointedness or ekagata. It has the power to protect someone from hindrances, nivarana, or defilements. Normally, when we are talking about jhana, concentrations is the opposite of hindrances. If you do not have hindrances, you attain the first jhana. So, concentration. Sorry. I do not know how to mute this one. It is a very often sometimes problem. Because I link with it. Huh? Oh. I think you still need to develop energy to protect from sloth and torpor. I think the phone call we can develop energy. Here, concentration is one pointedness, among 22 Metta-Cittasika. It's opposite of hindrances and defilement. The next one is wisdom, panya, is the opposite of ignorance. So if you have a wisdom, you can protect from ignorance. For that reason, the wisdom has the power of the love to protect or to resist from ignorance. So these are good powers. These are good powers. Next one is shame. Shame is the opposite of shamelessness. So actually shamelessness is you don't have shame to do unwholesome deed with your body, speech and mind. So if you have shame, that means you have shame to do unwholesome actions. It is not like feeling shy to speak out in front of the people, to go outside. It's not a shame. It's not a shy feeling. It is a shame to do unwholesome actions. So you have a shame to tell lies or to harm other people and to do unwholesome actions. So that is called shame. If you have a shame or healing, you have the power to protect from shamelessness. Then fear of wrongdoing, whatever. Fear of wrongdoing is the opposite of fearlessness. Some people have fearlessness to do unwholesome actions. But when we have fear of wrongdoing, we have a special power to resist fearlessness of wrongdoing. Then the next one, shamelessness. Shamelessness to do unwholesome actions, ahirika. Some people are shameless to do unwholesome actions. For that reason, they have special power to do unwholesome actions. So this one also power, but it is unwholesome power. Next one is fearlessness of wrongdoings. Some people have special power, fearlessness of wrongdoing. Because of that, they do unwholesome actions. So these are the last two. The last two are unwholesome actions according to Abhidhamma. But I think as we are learning Compendium or mixed category, it should be mixed. All these 9 powers should be mixed. But Abhidhamma mentioned that only the last 2 are unwholesome. The rest are wholesome one. Okay? So we have 9 powers. I think it's very not difficult. Question? Any question? No question? Okay, let's study this one. 4 predominates antipathy. 4 predominates. The predominance are the factors which dominate their concomitant states in undertaking and accomplishing difficult and important tasks. So if you have 4 predominates, then everything can be accomplished. You will be successful wherever you do in your undertaking. So they are very powerful. They are predominance. So if they are in your mind, everything you will get accomplishment. So we have a 4 predominance. You can look at page number 274. So I think we should know the difference between faculties and activity, predominates. So we also learn that faculty means the power to control. So the faculty exercise control over their respective domains. So actually, the difference between predominates and faculties are, the faculties are just like ministers. So we have a lot of ministers. So each minister, they exercise control in their respective domains. Education minister is in charge of education. Health minister in charge of health. So they exercise control. They have a power to control in their respective domain. Just like that, the faculty exercise control in their respective domains. For example, eye sensitivity is called faculty. The reason is it has special power or a control in seeing. So when we see something, eye sensitivity is in faculties, special power, controlling power. But it doesn't. Eye sensitivity cannot be controlling power in hearing or smelling, eating, etc. So eye sensitivity exercise controlling only in seeing, only in its domains. In other domains, another area, it cannot be exercise controlling power. Just like a minister, right? Education minister exercise control over education only, the rest cannot. But the predominates exercise absolute control over the concomitants. It's just like a king, just like a president or prime minister. Maybe in Singapore context, we can give the prime minister. He's in charge of cabinet. So he has the absolute control over their concomitants. Every ministers. So education is in charge, and health in charge, everything. So predominates are just like a king in the commentaries, just like a president or prime minister who control over all the ministers as a head of the state. So that means area also have a controlling power, but only respective domains, not every places. But for predominates deputy, it has exercised absolute control over their respective concomitants. Even among the four predominates, with the four predominates, four activities, if one of them is leading, the rest of the three have to follow. So if another one is leading in particular time, the rest have to follow. So for leader, if one is leading in one direction, the rest of the three have to follow. So just like that, only one, just like a king, no? Only one king in the country, but there are many ministers. One state can be a predominant at a time, and then only when it dominates the concomitant states. So that means associated mental states and associated physical states, it predominant. Predominates are obtained only in jhana. It's very important. You can look at page number. You can look at 276. Sorry. So I think I'm not quite sure. 275 or 276. You know, in 275, under clarification, you can read later. So these are clarifications. So actually, predominates are obtained only in jhavanas. So we have 55 jhavana chetas, right? 55 jhavana chetas. Among 55, only with the 2 rules and 3 rules. So that means among the 55 jhavana, we have a 1 rule chetas. So 1 rule cheta means 2 chetas rooted in delusion. So in the 2 cheta rooted in delusion, moha mula cheta cannot be obtained because it's so deluded. But another one is without root. So man 80 rootless chetas, we have a smile producing chetas. For Arahant and the Buddha and Vichika Buddha, so smile producing chetas, these 3 cannot be obtained. So out of 55, then you reduce 3 jhavana chetas, only 52. So here, 4 predominates are obtained only 52 jhavana chetas with the 2 rules and 3 rules. So that means in the 1 rule cheta and without rule cheta, it cannot be obtained. The reason is in the 1 rule cheta and without rule cheta, they are powerless. They don't have any power, less power. Actually, this is a absolute control, absolute power. For that reason, 4 predominate are obtained only 52 jhavana chetas with the 2 rules and 3 rules. That's actually very important. Number 1, predominance of desire. So that is a very strong desire, strong will. Desire cetasika. So that is here, not normal desire. Desire cetasika in the 52 jhavana chetas. So here, actually we have a 55 jhavana chetas, among them, so we have to exclude 2 chetas rooted in delusion, mohamula cheta. And we have to exclude smile producing chetas. The reason is they have less power. They don't have a controlling power. And also, only jhavana cheta. Remember that only jhavana cheta. No rootless chetas. Even rasada chetas cannot be obtained. But here is desire is not normal one. A very strong one. Very strong. It's strong will. For that reason, people always say that strong mind can move the mountain. Strong will can move the mountain. Such a desire. Next one is predominance of energy. It's not a normal energy. It is a energy in the 52 jhavana chetas. Not normal energy. Actually, the energy can associate with 70, 72 or 76. Still remember? Not normal energy, it is energy in the 52 jhavana chetas. A very strong energy. Next one is a predominance of consciousness. Actually, this is the mind. A very strong mind. Strong mind can move the mountain. Desire cetasika, not desire, you see. Cheta, it's not a cetasika, it is a 52 jhavana. Actually, it's typo error. I think better change, otherwise it will be very big mistake. Uh-oh. This is not a, can you see? Okay, right? It is not a mental factor. This is a consciousness or the mind. So we have the mind is not a normal mind, not 89 chetas. It is only 52 Javana chetas. So they have a special power, controlling power. So to control other concomitants, mental and physical phenomena. The next one is predominance of investigation. Investigation is vimansa. So here, not normal investigation. It is understanding or wisdom, our investigation. So actually here, investigation, vimana is taken as the panya, wisdom. Here, not normal panya, it is the wisdom only in the 34 three-rooted Javana chetas. So among the 34 chetas, among the 55 Javana chetas, so we have 34 three-rooted Javana chetas. So these wisdom is very strong, very strong. Not normal wisdom. It is the wisdom in the 34 three-rooted Javana chetas. So they are called predominance. A very powerful power to exercise control over mental and physical phenomena. That's called activity. Question? No question. It's very easy. But here I think remember that normally we always say the difference between faculties and predominance. The faculty also special power to control, but only in their respective domains, just like the ministers. But regarding with the predominance activity, it's very strong. In a particular moment, particular time, only one predominate is leading, the rest have to follow. But regarding with the faculties, it can be many faculties can be occurring one time. Okay, next one is 4 nutriments, ahara, nutriments. So the word ahara means something that's sustained by action as a strong supporting condition. So it's actually here, the word ahara means just a food. Just a food. Here is not just physical food, it also has mental food as well. But in English also we always say food for thought. Right? Food for thought. Food for the mind. But here, ahara here means not just physical food, it also is mental food. We have 4 nutriments. Number 1, eatable food, kaplikara ahara. It is a physical food. It is a physical food. It is a nutriment or a special condition to sustain physical body. It brings forth cluster of matters for the body. Cluster of matters, rupa kala, for the body. So actually it is the food that we know now. Eatable food, anything that can be eaten. But actually here, the food not just with the taking with our mouth. You know the baby and the mother's one, they cannot take with their mouth, but they have what you call it? Something, you know? Okay, so when the mother is eating, the baby in the mother's womb is sustained with this. He do not eat with his mouth. So here, the ahara means any type of physical food. So when you cannot eat, you you use drink with the drip, right? So that's also called eatable food. Even though kaplikara ahara, even though you do not eat with your mouth, but if sustain your physical body, it is called ahara, kaplikara ahara. Actually, this is matter, material phenomena. Next one is contact, phassa ahara. It is a nutriment for feeding. Contact is a food or nutriment. It sustains your feeling. Without contact, there will be no feeling. Actually, in Dhamma originations, we have depending on contact, feeling arises. Phassa pachaya vedana. So that is what the Buddha taught. So contact is a nutriment or the food for arising of feeling. Without contact, there will be no feeling. For that reason, in one of the Sutta, the Buddha said that if you do not see something, there is no defilements that caused by seeing. That's called by seeing. So that means if you control your eye, no place for defilements or hindrances caused by seeing. So controlling our eye. Just like that, you control your ear. You control your mind by controlling 6 senses. So there is no place for defilements. The reason is you don't have a contact. You don't have a contact. For that reason, contact is a nutriment or food for feeling. Because of contact, three kinds of feeling arises. It's also very easy. Here, contact means a contact mental factor. Earlier one is a physical material phenomenon. Kaplikara ahara is a material phenomenon. Number 3, the mental volition. The mental volition. Manosin chetana ahara. So actually that is a volition. Volition chetana. Among 52 mental factors. So here, the volition is a nutriment or a special condition for arising of consciousness. It brings forth rebirth linking consciousness in 3 kinds of existence. So actually, if we have a volition, consciousness will arise. For that reason, the volition is a food for consciousness. If you do not have volition, there will be no consciousness. For that reason, for Arahant and the Buddha, Vichika Buddha, they don't have any type of volition when they are dying. So actually, Pali can bring a piety, cool, without any volition. If there is no volition, there is no food for consciousness or revealing consciousness. For that reason, volition is the food for consciousness. That is nothing but chetana, among the 52 cetasika. Then, next one is the consciousness, viññāna. It is a nutriment for the compound of mind and body, nama rupa. So if you do not have consciousness, there will be no nama rupa. So as the Arahant and the Buddha, they don't have any volitional formations when they die. For that reason, there is no place for consciousness. If there is no consciousness, there will be no mind and body, no new life. So for that reason, the consciousness is the food or nutriment for the mind and body. Normally, we do wholesome and unwholesomely in this life. That is volition and formation. Because of that, we have a rebirth in consciousness. As we have a consciousness, we have a mind and body, nama rupa. So because of mind and body, 6 sense spaces. Because of 6 sense spaces, contact. Because of contact, feeling. Because of feeling, craving. Because of craving, and we do volition and formation again. Because of volition and formation, consciousness. That is called circular life, bhavachaka, you know. Another we call it samsara, going around. So we have 4 nutriments. For that reason, actually the Buddha very often mentioned the importance of 4 nutriments. If we know 4 nutriments, we will be mindful. If we are not mindful, there will be craving. There is craving for nutriments. So when we are eating, we will have a craving. When we have volition and formation, when we are acting with our mind, we're craving. When we have a contact with our eye, ear, nose and tongue, body, mind, we're craving. If we have a consciousness, crave for it. For that reason, the Buddha point out in many suttas, if we are not mindful, then craving will arise because of nutriments. So here, nutriments, the food is not physical one. It can be more, not only physical, it's also mental one. So among the 4 nutriments, only one material phenomena, the rest are mental. In one sutta, Samuccaya, chapter 3, sutta number 63. So in that sutta, the Buddha talk about how to eat the food. Actually, I have shared 2 times. The mother and tiny baby is taking a journey, long journey, crossing a desert. It's very hot. So they don't have any water, drinking water, they don't have any food. So they are walking in the desert, very thirsty and very hungry. A tiny baby in the hands of a mother. The mother is very hungry and thirsty, but no choice. She has to eat her own son. So to sustain her physical body. Actually, she eats her own son. The reason is to sustain her physical body. Do you think that if she is eating her own son, she will have a craving for it? Do you think she will crave for the food? Huh? Sorry? Survival. Actually, yes, survival is to sustain her physical body, not craving for our own son as a food. So the Buddha suggested that when we are eating the food, we have to practice the same thing. We are eating the food just to sustain our physical body, not for craving. Very, very difficult, you know? Very, very difficult. For that reason, when we are eating as a Buddhist man, we have to contemplate a series of instructions. So the Buddha have given a series of instructions how to contemplate before we eat and while we are eating. We are not eating for strength. We are not eating for beauty like this. We just eat to sustain our body. So in Samuccaya, sutta number 3, chapter 3, sutta number 63. So in that sutta, the Buddha suggested how to eat the food. It is for not normal lay people. For advanced one, very difficult. But when you have a continual mindfulness, you can do that. You are not eating, not for craving, just to sustain your body, that's all. So for that reason, the Buddha always encouraged the monks to eat 1 meal a day. Actually, for monks, we don't have to do many things, heavy things. If we eat one meal a day, it's enough. So the Buddha said that it is for a healthy life. A healthy life, the Buddha suggests to eat 1 meal a day. Not for lay people. But old people, if you are not doing anything, you can practice. The Buddha suggests, the Buddha suggests it's a very for healthy life, and your body will be very light if you eat only 1 meal a day. Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 21. So in that Sutta especially, and also Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 1. Ekapadika, only 1 meal a day. Okay. So this is the 4 nutriments. Any question? I think easy? Okay. Next one, next session, Compendium of Requisites of Enlightenment. Bodhipakya. Page number 278. Page number 278. Compendium of Requisites of Enlightenment. So the word Bodhipakya is translated as the requisites of enlightenment or aids to enlightenment. Bodhipakya is divided into 3 words: body, pakha, and ear. Body means enlightenment. Pakha means the sight or the friend. Ear means to belong to or to be included in. It means they are the Dhamma or the practices on the side of enlightenment, because they are protected, produces to attain enlightenment. So if you practice, if you follow those practices or those Dhamma, then so the enlightenment will be your friend. So the side of enlightenment, the side of enlightenment. Encyclopedia of Buddhism defines Bodhipakya as the quality or items contributing to body or enlightenment. Here it said supreme wisdom or enlightenment. Body means enlightenment. So here Bodhipakya means the requisites of enlightenment or the friends of enlightenment. If you practice, if you follow those practices, then you will have a requisites of enlightenment. Enlightenment means the knowledge realized by the Buddha and the Noble Sangha. Enlightenment. Here body means, actually the word body comes from the word Buddha. Buddha means knowing for noble truth. This one working? This one? Echo. Enlightenment means the knowledge realized by the Buddha and the noble ones. So in this context, the knowledge of, according to Abhidhamma, the knowledge of 8 types of supramundane consciousness. So we have 8 supramundane consciousness. That is called body or enlightenment. If you attain Sodapati Magga or Sodapati Phala, that is called enlightenment. A partial enlightenment, of course. But if you attain Arahatta Phala, that will be full enlightenment. So the Buddha attained enlightenment under a tree. So that tree is called Bodhi tree. Actually, it's not. The name is not Bodhi, because under that tree, the Buddha attained enlightenment. But we have two trees here. You know, I don't know in English, small one, and nearby the big Bodhi tree with another trees. That can be also called body. So it is said that under that tree, future Buddha will attain enlightenment. Any tree under which the Buddha attain enlightenment, it can be called body, not just body tree. Huh? 37 requisites of enlightenment are different set of practices that lead to realization of Nibbana. That's very important. Different set of practices. We have 7 sets or 7 categories. So actually, they are broader explanation of 7 factors of enlightenment. 7 factors of enlightenment. Actually, we have 7 factors of enlightenment. Pocanga Soda. So in the Sodas, 7 factors of enlightenment are sometimes used as a bodhipakkhiyata, the requisites of enlightenment. So in the Sodas, the requisites of enlightenment only 7. They are the 7 factors of enlightenment. Then you can read Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 27. And then that is the Akanya Sutta. 27 Akanya Sutta. And in Digha Nikaya, chapter 5, Sutta number 56. So you can read those sutta. So there are 7 categories in the 77 factors of enlightenment. Each of them are a separate path to enlightenment. Therefore, I always say that if you want to attain enlightenment, you don't need to practice 37. You just have to choose one category among them. If you choose one category, if you follow thoroughly and correctly, you will attain enlightenment. That means you don't need to practice 37. Therefore, one need not practice all of them. One category is more than enough to attain enlightenment. So that is very important to understand in such way. If you do not know that, you are afraid, wow, there are 37 to practice. Not like this. So we have 7 categories. You can choose either one. One of them. All the 37 requisites of enlightenment can be found in some suttas, especially Mahasakuludaya Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 77, and many suttas from Asankata Sayadaw Samdha Nikaya. So actually in Asankata Sayadaw, the Buddha talked about 56 versions of practices. 56, not 37. More than 37, no. 37 is just a part of 56. So the Buddha just mentioned a 56 version or version of practices that lead to enlightenment. For that reason, 37 is just the category or the list given by commentator, especially from Visuddhimagga. Visuddhimagga explained 37 requisites of enlightenment in detail. They are classified into 7 groups. Number 1, 4 foundations of mindfulness, Satipatthana, and 4 right efforts, Samuccaya, and 4 bases for spiritual power, and we have 5 faculties, Indriya. We have 5 powers, Bala. But here only 5 powers. Earlier one, 9 powers. So earlier one is mixed category. This one is totally for enlightenment. This one is not mixed, purely for attaining enlightenment. 7 factors of enlightenment. Satapojanga, and will be 8-part factor. Makanga, 8-part factor, the Noble Eightfold. So in earlier one, we study train Magara, train path. But this one is purely for the path for attaining enlightenment. The earlier one is the path to unwholesome destinations, and Brahma realm, even the Nibbana. But here is purely for attaining Nibbana. So altogether 37. So that is 37 requisites of enlightenment. Question? Any question? Okay, no question. Then, but here we'll talk about 4 foundations of mindfulness. 4 foundations of mindfulness. So I will explain a little bit details. But for those who want to know more details, and you can come and attend Soda study class. I think many of you are attending. I mean, when you are studying Soda, I think interview reputation. It's good anyway. Satipatthana is divided into 2 words, Sati and Patthana. Sati means mindfulness. Patthana means to be established family. So therefore, it literally means the mindfulness established on 4 foundations or 4 objects. So we have body, feeling, the mind, and the Dhamma. So these are 4 foundations. Based on those 4 foundations, established on those 4 foundations, based on those 4 foundations, we have to establish mindfulness. That is called Satipatthana. Even though it has 4 categories, we have to take only mindfulness according to Amman 52 middle factor. It's only one, mindfulness or Sati. So these 4 foundations are the practices for development of mindfulness and insight. Actually, based on those 4 foundations, you can establish, you can cultivate mindfulness, serenity and insight. So they are comprehensively explained in Mahasatipatthana Suttas. So we have 2 Mahasatipatthana Suttas, one in Digha Nikaya, Sutta number 22, another one in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 10. Only a few little difference. I think Mahasatipatthana Sutta is so important that a group of men who are assigned to maintain Digha Nikaya, they also memorize, learn by heart. And a group of men who is assigned to maintain Majjhima Nikaya, so they learn by heart and they recite. So in this way, we will 2 Mahasatipatthana Sutta. So some of the important suttas are maintained or well preserved in some places, 2 places or 3 places. The earlier time, at the time of the Buddha, after 3 months after Buddha was sent away, and the mantra, so the first Buddhist council. After first Buddhist council, so each Nikaya were assigned to a group of people. Tika Nikaya is assigned to Venerable Ananda and his disciples. Majjhima Nikaya, Venerable Anuruddha, I think. Sangha Nikaya, Venerable Mahakassapa and his disciples, just like that. What I mean is, Satipatthana Sutta is maintained by 2 groups, but they are the same, only a few differences, which are not very important. Okay, so you can find into Satipatthana Sutta. In Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha said that Ikayano Ayam Bhikkhve Maggo, there's only one way, there's only one path for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow, lamentation, for the attaining of Nibbana. There's only one way, there's only one path. Other than that, nothing. That is mindfulness. In that sutta, the Buddha says mindfulness. But of course, commentary mention the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path. Here is not just mindfulness. The Buddha just highlights the importance of mindfulness. Mindfulness must be supported by other qualities. Right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effect, right concentration. So those good qualities must be supported to mindfulness. Then only mindfulness is growing. Mindfulness is developing. So that is called bhavana. Bhavana means developing mindfulness. Wherever you do, if you can develop your mindfulness, sati, that is called meditation. So when you are studying, you focus all your attention to the lessons. You are developing your mindfulness. That's called bhavana. When you are cooking, all attention must be your cooking activities. That's called meditation. You're developing mindfulness. For that reason, mindfulness is compared with the doorkeeper who carefully check people who are coming in and going out. The one who is sitting at the gate, they will look at the people, they will look at the car going in and going out. So just like that, so we have to be very mindful when we are seeing something, when we are hearing something, eating, smelling, touching, thinking. The 6 senses, we call it 6 doors. In wherever doors you are experiencing, be mindful. If you are not mindful, negative mental state arises. Lower dosa, moha might arise. If you practice continuous mindfulness, there is no place for other negative mental state. For that reason, mindfulness is important. Mindfulness is important. And now we can compare with the security gate or immigration. Immigration, whoever came into the country, they thoroughly check, right? Whether they are tourists or they are just a very good visitor like this. So they have to check mindfulness with the mindfulness. Mindfulness is the key. The Buddha said that. Satecha bhikkhave, satecha kwahan sapatikam vadhami. Mindfulness is everything, the Buddha said. Mindfulness is everything. But mindfulness, bhikkhus, I say, is always useful. The translated by Bhikkhu Bori. And Sunny Sarabhi would translate, as for mindfulness, I tell you that serve every purpose. Then I think, just simply translate, mindfulness is everything, the most important. For that reason, commentary said that just as salt, mindfulness is immersed everywhere. If there is no salt in your curry, not tasty, not tasty. So like that, mindfulness is just like a salt. Without salt, the food is not tasty. Just like that, without mindfulness, all your activities, all your thinking, all your speeches will be unwholesome. We have a famous meditation master who converted from Islam, and actually he always say that, he always give this example. So every Dhamma talk, in his Dhamma talk, the theme is mindfulness, because mindfulness is just like a salt. Without mindfulness, everything is not tasty. So he always pinpoint the importance of mindfulness all the time. It is according with the Buddha. The Buddha says, Sati Sakkvahan Sapajikavada. Mindfulness is everything. If you are mindful, no place for negative mental state. For that reason, for those who are meditating, they can manage their mind. They are able to manage their mind. One of the famous Sayadaw from Myanmar, Sayadaw, and he said that the essence of Pali Canon is 37 requisites of enlightenment that we are learning now. If we take out all the essence from Pali Canon, only 37 requisites of enlightenment. The essence of 37 requisites of enlightenment is the Noble Eightfold Path. If you take the essence from 37, the Noble Eightfold Path. The essence of the Noble Eightfold Path is 3 higher training, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. The essence of 3 higher training is mindfulness. And he said that if you are mindful, you are learning Tipitaka. If you are mindful, you are learning 5 Nikaya. So if you are mindful, you don't need to learn anything. Enough. Mindfulness is the key, right? Actually very beautiful, you know. The essence of Pali Canon, all the Tipitaka, what we are learning is 37 requisites of enlightenment. The essence of everything is mindfulness. So we have 4 foundations of mindfulness. Number 1, contemplation of the body, Kaya Vipassana. Contemplation of feelings, Vedana Vipassana. And contemplation of the mind, Citta Vipassana. And contemplation of mental phenomena. So here, Dhamma is phenomena. Contemplation of the body. Number 1, contemplation of the body. Kaya Vipassana is divided into 2 words, Kaya and Anupassana. Kaya means the body, Anupassana means repeatedly seeing or contemplating. Contemplating of the body is called Kaya Vipassana. It is mindfulness of organs, all your organs, all constituents in your body, and all function, not only the body, all the function connected with your body. So Mahasatiparana Sutta mentions 6 categories. To practice our contemplation of the body. Number 1, mindfulness of breathing. That is the most famous one. Anapana. the nature of the breath. So we have to contemplate breathing in and breathing out, and we have to contemplate the nature of the breath. When it is long, we have to know it is long. When it is short, we have to know it is short. That's all. You do not think for yourself, I am breathing, or I am breathing in, or I am breathing out. No I. Just the nature of breathing. Breathing in, just know that you're breathing in. Breathing out, just know that breathing out. And the effect on the body, like a calmness, tranquility, arising and cessation of the breath. So when you're breathing in, you must know that how it arises and how it disappears. So that is insight meditation, became insight meditation. So Satipatthana Sutta mentioned not only samatha meditation, also insight meditation. The purpose of, Number 2, mindfulness of bodily postures. Mindfulness of bodily postures. Iddhiyapata. It is the mindfulness of the bodily postures, walking, standing, sitting, lying down. So when you are walking, you just know that you're walking. Don't think that I am walking. No, I am. Just walking. So when you are standing, just standing, you are standing. Sitting down, lying down, etc. So just know that you are lying down. So the purpose of this meditation is to bring about awareness of impersonal nature of the body. Impersonal nature means there's no I, there's no you, there's no man and women. Just mental and physical phenomena are walking. Standing, sitting and lying down. Actually these are very important. Normally we practice walking meditation and sitting meditations. But every moment we have to be very mindful. We have to practice mindfulness. Number 3, mindfulness with a clear comprehension. Sampajana. It is mindfulness with a clear comprehension in every single bodily activities, such as looking at somewhere, bending your body, stretching your body, wearing your clothes, speaking, staying silent, eating, drinking, even defecating and urinating. So these are the mindfulness with a clear comprehension, sampajana. So when you're looking at somewhere, mindfully look at. When you're bending your body, you mindfully bend your body. When you're stretching your body, and you're very mindful. You know, sometimes when you go to meditation retreat, especially most of the meditation retreat, so you will be told to be mindful every moment, whatever you do. Especially Mahasi meditations, every moment. So you are instructed to be mindful. The reason is to develop mindfulness. How about when you are crossing traffic light? No, you cannot do that. But if you need, you have to run. Huh? If the guy is coming, you have to run. But yeah, that's very important. Now, what I want to say is, it's important to be natural, But of course, in meditation retreat, we have to train our mind with the slow motion. But when you are living in daily life, sometimes you need to run away. Sometimes you need to like this, no? But every moment, even when you're running, be mindful. Mindfulness, no? If you develop mindfulness, every single activities in your daily life, wherever negative mental state come in, you will right away know it. If you know negative mental state arises in your mind, that negative emotion will stop automatically. How the Buddhist mindfulness control manage the mind. So that is the purpose of meditation. The very purpose of meditation is to control our negative mental state. When you practice mindfulness, every single activities in your daily life. Here, the Buddha said, even defecating, when you go to toilet, even defecating, even urinating, you have to know what you are doing. Today, what the Buddha wants to say is, we must know what we are doing. Just know, no? Actually, here I very often meet with the Pali College students who is not Buddhist, and he is meditating, and he come to me and always share his experiences regarding with the meditation. And he used the word noting. Actually, it is own word. So I understand what it means. Noting. So when you are speaking, you are noting. You are aware, mindful what you're doing. So when you are wearing your clothes, you are taking note. You are wearing the clothes. Actually, of course, the wording what he's using is not very, maybe accurate. We normally use the word contemplating. We contemplate, and aware, and mindfulness. Mindfulness is the best. We are mindful wherever we are doing. We are talking. If I'm talking, if I'm mindful, then whatever I speak will be meaningful. But if I'm not mindful, then whatever I talk will be nonsense. So sometimes you may see sometimes, very sometimes, because of lack of mindfulness. Mindfulness is very important. Mindfulness is everything. But here, it is important to understand meditation. We're talking about meditation. Meditation means developing mindfulness. Mindfulness has to be established at all times. Every single activities. When you are drinking water, you know that you're drinking water. But of course, when you are in the meditation retreat and follow the instruction of meditation masters, when you are living in daily life, you cannot do slow motion activity. Be natural. In one Dhamma talk, Dalai Lama mocked such activities. In the meditation retreat, we slow down our activities. Actually, the main purpose is to be mindful every activities of our actions. So in this way, we try to develop mindfulness. But I'm surprised, Dalai Lama, he mocked that such actions. But of course, when we are living in daily life, if we are slowing down our slow motion, not good. So we have to, when we are talking in the meeting, and when you are running in the traffic jam, when you are running after somebody trains, as long as you are mindful, as long as you know you are running, that's mindfulness. You don't need to slow down your actions. There is one guy who always comes to MV, so he slowed down all his motions, every activities. No good, normal time, be natural. But every activity have to be very mindful. That is the purpose of meditation. That is called mindfulness with a clear comprehension. Here, sampajana, I think the word sampajana is very important. Sami, where, ajana means you know thoroughly. You know thoroughly what you are doing. Sampajana is nothing but wisdom. Wisdom. When you are mindful, wisdom arises. When you are drinking, you know that you are drinking. That is wisdom. That is called wisdom, you know. It's not a small wisdom, it's a very big wisdom, you know. Even you are drinking, if you know it, that is called wisdom. Sampajana. Sampajana. But here, clear comprehension means wisdom. Mindfulness with the wisdom. Number 4, reflection on repulsiveness of the body. Reflection on repulsiveness of the body. Our body is repulsive, ugly. Even Sotapanna still see the body as a beautiful. Not alone Buddhojana, but Sakatagami still can see, you know, the real nature of the body as a repulsive or foul or ugly. So if we see the nature of our body, the nature of the body, so there will be no craving at all. Because we crave for it, because we don't know the real nature of the body. But here, for that reason, the Buddha recommends to practice reflection on repulsiveness of the body. It is the contemplation of 31 parts of the body in their true natures. Normally, commentary said that 32. Commentary said 32. Actually, when we count, only 31. Actually, the numbers are not very important. It can be more than that. If we combine, it can be less than that. If we elaborate, it can be more than that. So anyway, in the Pali Canon, if we count 31, but normally we say 32. 32 part of the body in their true perspective. So our body is analyzed into 32, so that we do not see our body as a whole, as a totality. So if you analyze as as a hair, as a skin, as a bone, then you do not see as the whole. Then you analyze the body in 32. So in this way, there's no point for attachment. So there's nothing to attach or crave for it. So as a Buddhojana, as a Sotapanna, we cannot analyze 32 part of the body in such a way. For that reason, we still have a craving for it. But Sakatagami, once Ratana start to notice the real nature of the body, it is repulsive. So this is a repulsiveness, an aspect of impermanence and decay. Thereby, one can remove the attachment to one's body. So this is one of the practice to remove attachment to our body and to the body of other people. So I very often share the story of the Buddha and his son, Rahula. So when the Buddha is going Pinapada, Rahula followed. The Rahula think that my father is very handsome, a very pleasant complexion, and mine too as his son. Attachment to his body, attachment to the body of the Buddha. Then the Buddha turned back, and the Buddha suggested to practice 4 elements. So by analyzing, by contemplating 4 elements in the body, then one realizes that there is only 4 elements, nothing but. So there's no point to, there's no place for craving or attachment to that. So the very purpose of practicing such one is to remove our craving to the body, to the body of other people. So actually craving or attachment is the original suffering. The original suffering. Someone died, we crave for it, then suffering arises. And we crave for our body, we are going to die, we crave for our body, we suffer a lot. If we do not crave for our body, attach for our body, whatever happens, there is no suffering. There is no suffering. Next one is contemplation on the four elements. As I said, that the Buddha suggested Venerable Rahula to practice four elements. It is contemplation on the four basis elements that constitute the body. Number one, the earth element, or solidity. We have a solidity, soft and hardness. Softness and hardness. Then you contemplate but you need a strong power of concentration. So if your mind is concentrated and trying to contemplate softness of the body, softness and hardness in your body, that is called the earth element. The water element, cohesion and liquidity. It is flowing in your body. The blood is flowing in your body. And there are watery part in your body. And you contemplate on them. So that is water element. The fire element, sometimes hot, sometimes cold. Temperature. Then you try to contemplate the nature of hot or cold. Then the air element, motion. Actually, the air is moving in your body. So that is called the air element. So when you contemplate your body, you just notice hardness and softness. You just notice flowing, liquidity. You just notice hot and cold. You just notice motion, moving. So in this way, you will notice that there is impersonal, there is no you, just four elements. Just four elements are occurring in your body. By contemplating on the four great elements, one can see impersonal and non-substantial nature of the body. So actually, in one of the sutta in Samranikaya, the Buddha gives a simile of a lamp form on the water. A lamp form on the water. If we analyze, if we clearly see it, nothing inside. Just like that, we see our body, we analyze with the four great elements. So in this way, we do not see the body as a whole. Then we just see it is combination of four great elements. Other than four great elements, nothing. There's no you, there's no me, no you, no I, etc. So in this way, by practicing, by following four great elements, and you will understand that there is no self. Everything arises and passes away. Cold arises and passes away. Cool arises and passes away. Softness then arises and passes away. So that there is no permanent entity in your body by analyzing four great elements. So you will understand that there is no self in the body. Here self means something that exists forever, that lasts forever. The next one is 9 symmetry contemplations. Symmetry contemplations. So in this contemplation, one can contemplate the 9 stages of decomposition of the body. I think it is not available in Singapore because we cremate, right? We cremate the body. But in ancient India and in some other places, I think mostly in India, They do not keep the body. But of course, if there is disaster, you can get this meditation object. Disaster happen, then you cannot bury those body, then you will see the stages of decomposition of the dead body. So that is called, actually, by looking at the stages of decomposition of the dead body, then you can practice detachment to the body. Then you will know that I will also die one day, and my body also will be the same. So in that way, you can detach from the body. In Myanmar, we have one saying that if we attend funeral, if you go to cemetery one day to attend funeral, and you go to monastery for 10 times. Sorry, you go to cemetery one time, and you go to temple or monastery 10 times. It's equal. 10 times visiting. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Visiting temple for 10 times and going to the wake for 1 time, equal. I think it's encouraged to go and to attend the funeral or wake. It is because by attending funeral, you accumulate a lot of good deed. It is right, you know. But of course, for devotees who are very helpful for the temple, many people will attend. For some devotee, only handful of people go there. Nobody make any effort to attend the wake. I think it's good, you know. By going to the funeral and we accumulate good deed, not only good deed, we will develop wisdom that one day I will die like this. So that is a contemplation of one of the meditation. But here, so yeah, you're right. Yeah. Accumulation of good deed, because but sometimes some people may go there because just for social visit, you know? Because my friend, yeah, just for social visit, no good. But of course, at least it will create happiness for the deceased family. I think it's good anyway. It's the however you on the whatever, you know, any kind of middle state you visit is good. Stay good. Yeah. Here we have 9 cemetery contemplations. So you contemplate stages of decomposition or in the body. When the body became about 2 or 3 days, it became bloated, you know. Then after that, all the liquid from the body will come off, and gradually it will be bones, you know, with no more flesh. Just like that, these are 9 stages of composition of the body. So by contemplating, actually, Visuddhimagga mentioned details. For those who want to practice, have to go to cemetery. Have to find out a dead body. That there are a series of instructions to follow in the cemeteries. Many monks in Myanmar and many monks in Thailand still following. They visit cemeteries and they practice this one. And some go to cemeteries. Some go to hospitals to see the dead body. And also you can practice by visualization. You can internet you can find out. Maranasati or recollection of death. then you will find how to meditate. So actually, Satipatthana mentioned 6 categories to talk about contemplation of the body. Contemplation of the body. Breathing, contemplation of breathing, the first one. Then contemplation of your movement, walking, etc. And contemplation of all your activities. Mindfulness with a clear comprehension. And contemplation of 4 great elements. And contemplation of 9 symmetry contemplation. Another one is contemplation of contemplation of 32 parts of the body. So altogether 6 categories. So all these are connected with the body, not just the body. So which are connected with the body. Actually, that body is the body, not ourselves, others. The breathing is connected with our body. That's called Kaya-nupassana, right? Kaya-nupassana. Next one is contemplation of feeling. Feeling is very important. It is contemplation of the feeling, whether physical or mental. The Sutta enumerate 9 modes of contemplating on feeling. But here, feeling means sensation or experience. So we experience pleasant sensation and unpleasant sensation. The moment you have feeling, it can be, we cannot say that it is good and bad. Only after feeling, our mind starts to function. That is called volitional mental activities, volitional formation, or sankhara, mental activity. Our mind starts to function. So when you are walking under the hot sand, that is unpleasant sensation. You cannot say that it is wholesome or unwholesome. It's just indeterminate. That your mind starts to function very hot and start to angry at the weather. It's raining sometime, then you experience unpleasant, sensation in your body. Then your mind starts to function. It can be good and bad, right? It depends on our mind. But here, feeling is not emotional one. It's just sensation. A good sensation, unpleasant sensation, neutral sensation. Satipatthana mentioned 9 modes of contemplation. Number 1, pleasant feeling, sukha vedana. Number 2, painful feeling. Number 3, neutral feeling. So these 3 modes of feelings are multiplied with the worldly, samisen, and spiritual, niramisa. So we have the 3 types of feeling. So these 3 types have to combine with the worldly pleasant feeling, and worldly painful feeling, worldly neutral feeling. So this is another 3. Next one is spiritual pleasant feeling, spiritual painful feeling, spiritual neutral feeling. So altogether 9. Okay.
In the Sutras class, the idea only pleasant feeling, painful feeling, neutral feeling is ignorance. So the feeling is mindfulness issues. The examples.
I mean that if we have a neutral feeling, it's okay. If we have a neutral feeling, it's not ignorance. Normally, if you have a neutral feeling, if you are not mindful, if you do not have a sampajana is wisdom, and ignorance might arise. Neutral feeling is experience not only Puthojana, not only trainees, but also the Buddha and Arahant. The Buddha and Arahant, they are always mindful. For that reason, there's no place for ignorance. But for normal people, when we have a neutral feeling, if we do not know that sensation, neutral sensation, ignorance arises. But when we have a pleasant feeling, if we are mindful, if we have wisdom, there's no place for greed or lobha, lust. So even though we are painful, if we are mindful, if we know what we are experiencing thoroughly, my wisdom, there's no place for aversion or hatred. But painful feeling is the source or potential for the arising of anger or aversion. But not every painful feeling produces anger. It depends on individuals. Even though Arahant, the Buddha, they experience painful feeling, but they don't have aversion, they don't have anger toward that pain. They know painful feeling as a painful feeling. Knowing painful feeling as a painful feeling, that is wisdom. That wisdom arises because of mindfulness. When we have a pleasant feeling, suppose when you are eating a good food, pleasant sensation. I think it's better experience, better use the word sensation. When you are eating a good food, when you are smelling a good smell, pleasant sensations. But if you just know that is pleasant sensation, by that time it's mindful. You know pleasant sensation as a pleasant sensation. That is wisdom. Because of mindfulness and wisdom, there is no place for craving. Craving will not arise. So the Buddha and Arahant also, they know painful feeling as a painful feeling. Knowing is a wisdom. Because of knowing painful feeling, they don't have ignorance. But neutral feeling is very hard to know. Only we have a mindfulness, very sharp mindfulness and very sharp wisdom, then we will know neutral feeling. If we know neutral feeling as a neutral feeling, there's no place for ignorance. But if we are not mindful, ignorance will arise. For that reason, the Buddha said that when we experience pleasant feeling, lust or greed is potential to arise. Anusia, underlying tendency. There is a tendency to arise. But if you are mindful, no greed. So if we experience, the Buddha said that painful feeling has underlying tendency to aversion. So if you are mindful, there will be no aversion. But not mindful, aversion will arise. That is they are likely to happen. Here also, if we have a neutral feeling, we just know that as a neutral feeling. If you know, that means you have mindfulness and wisdom. If you do not know, ignorance, likely to, potential to arise. It's called anusia. But here, in the suttas, in Vedana Samyutta, the Buddha used Kehasita and Nikkamasita. So Kehasita means, actually, this is the same, orderly and spiritual. But here, orderly means reflected with defilements. Sami san. So when you experience pleasant feeling, then lobha arises. That pleasant feeling is called worldly pleasant feeling. Even though you experience pleasant feeling, lobha does not arise. You just know pleasant feeling as a pleasant feeling. is together with mindfulness and wisdom. For that reason, it is called spiritual pleasant feeling. So here we use the word worldly and spiritual based on with the defilements and without defilements. Then we experience painful feeling. Then aversion and dislike arises in our mind. That is called worldly painful feeling. Even though you experience a painful feeling in your body, in your mind, then there's no aversion, there's no hatred in your mind. That is called spiritual painful feeling. It becomes spiritual. Then neutral feeling, then you experience neutral feeling, then ignorance follows. That is called worldly neutral feeling. But even though you experience neutral feeling, you aware neutral feeling as a neutral feeling. There is no ignorance. That is called spiritual neutral feeling. So in this way, we have a 9 modes of feeling: pleasant feeling, painful feeling, and neutral feeling. Then you combine with the worldly pleasant, worldly painful, worldly neutral. Then you combine with the spiritual, pleasant, painful, and neutral. It became 9. Okay.
You explain neutral balance feeling. The neutral is in the world.
And it's good, very good question. Can you repeat?
Because you think about 9 modes, so under worldly you will have pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. So neutral, then how do you explain worldly? That worldly.
But neutral?
Neutral, how to explain worldly?
Oh yeah.
Defilements.
But here, ignorance is a defilement. So when we experience neutral feeling, if we do not know, if we are not mindful at that moment, that means we do not know. If you do not know, that's ignorance. That's ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing. Not knowing. If you do not know, because your mind is restless. For that you do not know neutral feeling. Then if you do not know neutral feeling as a neutral feeling at that moment, that is called ignorance. So your neutral feeling is followed by ignorance. So therefore it is called worldly neutral feeling. But now you experience neutral feeling, but you are very mindful. You know neutral feeling as a neutral feeling. And don't think about with the English meaning. Actually, sometimes English translation make confusion. But here, for that reason, we use not neutral. In the Pali Canon, Atokha Masuka Vedana, neither painful nor pleasant. Neither pleasant nor painful. Is, how to say, actually, painful feeling quite obvious. And also pleasant feeling quite clear. But here, the feeling is neither painful nor pleasant. Not clear. Even those unclear feeling, you notice. You notice me. You need a lot of mindfulness. You need a lot of concentrations. For that reason, we have a lot of ignorance. Because we are not mindful, we don't have concentrations. So neutral feeling, the feeling is not clear. For that reason, ignorance is likely to arise. But if we have mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, at that moment, we know neutral feeling as a neutral feeling. That is called wisdom. The wisdom is opposite of moha. So after neutral feeling, ignorance does not follow. That became spiritual. Not neutral feeling. We can use the word, long spiritual, neither pleasant nor painful feeling. Sometimes, how to say, English translation make confusion. I think it's good to understand a little bit of Pali. Just like in a few weeks ago, we discussed about passion, you know. Actually, to attain enlightenment, we need to dispassionate toward, you know, everything. But here, passion here doesn't mean enthusiasm, you know, enthusiasm or interest, you know. Actually, here, passion here means, you know, craving or, you know, longing or clinging toward something. That's called that translation. Actually, sometimes English translation, honestly, actually it is the weakness of the language. Not only English, every language has weaknesses. So even the Pali, no exceptions. Even the Pali, weaknesses. Every language has weaknesses. For that reason, the Buddha had to use many terms, you know, just to explain the nature of the mind, the nature of the body. So when we are learning about Nirvana, so the Buddha used many terms, you know, just to explain that particular ultimate reality, you know, just particular ultimate reality. More than 50 terms the Buddha used the word, you know, just to explain the word Nibbana, you know, Nibbana. Sometimes in negative point of view and positive point of view, because the language cannot pinpoint, highlight the nature of mental state, you know. But here also, the worldly here means, therefore I explain that reflected with the defilements. So if you have a pleasant, painful, neutral sensations, if there is no defilements in your mind, that is called spiritual. That is called spiritual. But if defilement follow, that is called worldly. Right? Okay, any question? So I think we'll continue next week.
Sarana Thamu Pe big to put in the bag.
yeah.
So I just give him.
Yeah.
Because strawberry drop.
This one from here. We change. We change cover. Not dropping. I already threw like this. Yeah. It's not, because they think that. Let me want to save. Want to save recording?
Save?
I want to save recording.
Oh dear, I'm not familiar.
Something wrong with my computer. No, it's okay. I will do it.
Maybe hypnosis.
I will do it. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
I will try. Oh, what a thing. Because okay. Now it's okay.